Awesome. All right, good evening. Welcome to a meeting of the Darien Architectural Review Board. My name is Elizabeth Geiger. I'm chairman. Today is Tuesday, November 19th. With me tonight, we have David Humphrey, Alex Lopatensky, Christina Hart, Anya Janis, our vice chair, Kate Poselli, and Cheryl Green. And Sean Brown will also be joining us late. We are going into new business first tonight because we have some longer old business application hearings. So starting with new business, we have ARB number 34, 2024. This is for, Faye Kim, you can come on up. This is for Faye Kim Designs at 868 Boston Post Road. So Faye Kim, can you join us on stage? You're gonna hop up?
That podium?
You're gonna hop at the podium? Yep, you're on stage. It's okay. We don't bite. Unless the design's terrible, then we do. Just a joke, just jokes, keeping it light.
That's the existing.
What's it?
That's the
So,
existing.
Faye Kim, can you tell us, introduce yourself for the record and what your role is and what you're looking to do?
My name is Faye Kim, opening a store called Faye Kim Designs, a fine jewelry store. I had a store in Westport for about 18 years, so this is all new. I'm excited to join Darien. I think there's a lot of good things going on here. I purchased this building about a month ago, and we're looking to do some basic renovations and get our doors open as soon as we can.
So you own the whole building, or?
I do, yes.
Okay, okay.
Nice.
So the first thing you want to do, you're proposing signage.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we saw an awning. Should we look at that design, or are we skipping over that and going straight to this?
I would love to discuss it if that's okay. That was
Okay.
a previous application.
Okay,
right?
sure. So let's show your two versions, what you've got.
Mhm.
Thanks, Hervé. That's the new one. And then, I think it's that one there. Yeah, Hervé, that's good. Okay.
So that was the original proposal, just to clean up that original sort of entry area. That was before we were told that the pediment around the main door had some historical significance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
So that's what you started with.
that's what we started with.
Okay. And then, yeah, I believe that Hervé and I, after reviewing the application, we talked to you about coming up with alternative options to not
Right.
mask.
So this is what we came up with. What you see on either side of the door are window display cases, jewelry cases, and just simple decals on either side.
So the glass goes all the way up to here, and this is a case inside the
Correct.
storefront, right?
Correct.
So it's,
Mhm.
so that the edge of the glass is here.
Right.
Okay.
And so the pediment will remain, we'll just clean it up, and the door also will have a door decal with the logo and store hours.
Are they allowed to paint that door?
Yeah, so what are you painting? Yeah, that's a question.
Painting what?
What are
Are
you?
allowed to paint the door?
Am I allowed to paint the door?
Mhm.
I would like to just, it's sort of old and faded, so sand it down and paint it another color.
Yeah, okay.
So
You're
we'll
gonna
either-
restain it or paint it? The wood, are we talking about the wood? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
wood-
exterior paint or stain, I'll have to speak to
The
my
pediment,
guys.
actually.
No, the pediment, I am not going to, I mean, I'd like to clean it up and maybe seal it. There is some rot on the bottom, as you can see from the photograph. So we'll have to, I'll have my builder look at it and see what we need to do to maintain it.
There's an excellent woodworker now in town that presented his work on Norton Avenue.
Okay,
Andre, Art
Mhm.
Kimball, something.
okay.
He specializes in hardwood, and this kind of thing is dressed right down his alley.
Restoration,
It's
okay.
kind of a restoration
Reach out
and
to
an
him.
antique.
I'll get the name from him. Okay.
My question,
Resources in town.
which wasn't clear, is are there restrictions from the Historic Society about painting that better?
I don't think the building is listed or on the register. There's no, also, I don't think you guys have is this a historic district? There's no rural historic district downtown.
It is a
And
historic
that's something
district.
that's being
Yeah.
talked about.
Is that
huh?
an
overlay over downtown?
There's an overlay for historic?
There is, but I think as long as you're not changing the facade, as long as you're not
Right.
They're allowed painting, with approval
I
of this
have no
board?
intention of painting it a color. If anything, we'll clean it up, stain
Yeah.
it, sand it, and try to retain its original
This is a
style.
pretty, it's a pretty remarkable example. This is, you know, there's not too many of those left in terms of proportion. I think it has some nice,
Mhm.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree.
So what's the color of the trim, so you're painting the trim of the windows?
Yeah, I'd like to sort of, clean it up and maybe do a sort of a charcoal dark, like an anthracite color, and paint the door to match, just to have it stand out a little bit. Because the building, if you sort of zoom out, it's just a wall of white, and
Mhm.
I thought it was important, since we can't do the awning, it would be nice to have it stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, there's the
Mhm.
columns, the wires,
Mhm.
and all that.
These things here are gone.
Yeah, those barriers,
Mhm.
I don't think they're,
So there is some sort of middle frame here, is that
it's a
correct?
wooden barrier, I think, to protect.
You're eliminating that, right?
I would like to, yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I point that out.
Okay.
What's nice about this is that the whole door becomes part of the design. And when-
Yeah.
Before that, it was
Yeah.
just a negation of it, now it's really like, that's part of your storefront. Sorry, I just, my
it's
historic,
great.
my previous historic preservation commission of 3 years, I can't help it.
It goes
Agreed.
together nicely.
Hey Kim, I have two things, this looks like it's gonna be a favorable report, everyone's in support of it, it seems. But, two things, I need the exact size of those letters and the exact paint color you're gonna choose. So can you follow up with us, send a note to Hervé and let him know those two details?
Sure, the dimensions of the decals are in the email, which I sent over to Greer, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah,
But
I don't think
once,
I kept, I mean,
Okay.
I may have.
I'll follow up again and I'll
searched-
send
yeah,
it to you,
don't
no
worry about it.
problem.
oh, you know what, I have it here, 9.5. I do have it here, 9.5 is the height of letters, that's great.
Which is fine,
It's
just
well
the-
within
just
the
the paint color.
10%.
Mm-hmm,
just that,
Yep.
that paint.
and then the paint color is not in here.
Okay,
Do you know what that, you're still deciding that?
I'm still deciding now.
Okay,
Real stain, right?
Staying on the door surround, but not on the window.
The windows are white currently, so.
It'll be painted.
but that's a good point, Mr. Humphrey, can you follow up with the stain you're gonna do and the paint color? I don't think you're gonna get any pushback of what you choose, we just wanna know for the record,
Sure.
to make sure what you say you're gonna do is what's actually there. Okay,
Okay.
that's great. All right, thanks, good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome to town. All right, we're gonna go head back to old business. If you guys wanna start setting up. We're gonna go to ARB number 27, 2024, which is 1 Thorndale Circle.
I don't know how to get that thing,
It gets to do full screen.
this guy right there. Okay.
And then, yeah, you should be able to just click
Okay,
down
sure.
now.
And then we go down this one.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good evening. My name is Craig Flaherty, not Jake Line. We were double booked tonight between ARB and Planning and Zoning, so in the run-up, I was helping prepare for the ARB meeting, and Jay was helping prepare for the P&Z meeting, and he's up there just making sure things go smoothly. Ultimately, they decided to continue their meeting to December 9th, which is important, we'll come up later. You may see him walking in a little bit.
Can you spell your last name?
Sure, Flaherty, Flaherty. I'm with Land Use Consulting Company, Redness and Mead, with offices in Stamford. So this is the third time we've been before you. We started in September, continued in October. The last time we were together in October, you did approve the color palette and the material palette. We brought those boards again here in case you wanted to reference them while we did anything tonight. You approved the site landscaping, and you approved the site lighting with a note about the finish on the poles and fixtures, which we can touch on quickly tonight as well. We may not have shown you our brick and stone samples last time. They're here. We can put them out. Aaron, if you want to, they're there. If you want to look at them.
Yeah, can you put them out? We can
Yeah.
pass them out while you're
Do you mind,
talking.
Aaron, put those on?
Yeah.
We're not, so with all the design revisions that we're going to go over tonight, we're not introducing.
Yeah, just have them out here in case anyone wants to.
Yeah, we're not introducing any new materials or any new colors. We
Yep.
have changed where we put those materials and colors on the building, and you'll see those as we go through the elevations. You know, we're, you know, with your help and guidance and comments, we're very happy with where the design is right now. Hopefully you will also be happy. It is my job to kind of imbue that excitement to you all, so we can hopefully leave with a report tonight. We have, again, that meeting with P&Z on December 9th, which is before you meet again, and we are trying to close with planning and zoning that night. So I'll keep my fingers crossed, and everybody will keep their minds open as we go through the materials, and hopefully we can get there, if needed, with a few comments or conditions. With that, I guess I go to sheet 2. So this is in the same flow we've always done. We come in Thorndale Circle. We see building A on our right, and we're going to wrap through by the clubhouse building, through building B and C, through building D and E, and back out to Hecker. So when we were here last time, the comments that we heard kind of loud and clear were consider on these signature elements, these kind of these A faces, I'll call them, which occur at prominent corners and intersections facing the center drive that goes through the site, was to consider different materiality, especially on the base, perhaps a stronger base. There was a string of windows at the top, which there was a lot of hesitancy over. And there was also a string of windows within the gable element, which there was hesitancy over. So this has been provided to show you again how we're going to use this same theme throughout. In this theme, we bring stone masonry all the way up to the bottom of the second floor windows. We've separated those upper story windows now to be separate. We're also introducing kind of different patterns to the windows. You see kind of 2 thin, 1 middle, 2 regular. We've got these larger with the lower casements there. And also on these larger ones, we're trying to make the cap molding broader, which helps with the horizontality as well. And then we changed that upper window as well. So we got more materiality, more texture, a change in the windows, an interruption of that horizontality, which you were commenting about the last time. And you'll see that theme now as we go through. If you go to the next slide, this is just kind of the flat elevation of building A, again showing how we now have articulated where we're using that kind of quality stone masonry in the A faces and some of the expressions, but not on the recesses. So we really have kind of A, B, and C facades now. Next slide. So this is wrapping around. We've passed the clubhouse already. We didn't show it to you because you also approved the clubhouse because we managed to hit it last time. Yep. This is building B, again, prominent corner on our main center drive. And you see how we've done that same theme. Strong base, in this case it's brick up to that second floor. Changed how we did the windows in the gable and on the third floor, varying sizes and patterns. Forward. And here is that, the building east facade kind of enlarged, so we can take a look at that. Next facade, or next shot. Again, a reminder, now we've split building B. It's got a building B west, a building B east, and this is the center courtyard. We removed 6 apartments through here and have this 36 or 42 foot deep, 36 foot wide courtyard. You can see how we have a different color palette and architectural style on the east building, kind of a more simple parapet at the top versus here on the west building, different color palette, and we're introducing slope roofs. This has the brick accents, this has the stone masonry accents, and we have the recessed center connection. This is actually hallway in this picture with brick all the way up and a strong cornice. Moving next.
Craig,
Yeah.
can I stop you there? Actually, that next slide's great. Can you go to
Yes.
the next slide?
Yes.
I wanted to ask about the way it's finished at the top of that, that tower to the right of the brick section there. So
So
right there,
right
right where Terry's touching, yeah, that finishing there looks like, it looks, I
think
don't
that's-
know, maybe
that's
a
a-
little tap unfinished, yeah, thank you, Hervé, a
Oh,
little
okay.
unfinished from that angle.
Yeah, this might just be a render. I think that it's intended to bring the clapboard, right, or bring the clapboard all the way up, Federico, on this.
I was trying to zoom in, but it's like a little hard.
Yeah.
The
Craig, you
clapboard
can
all the way
maybe
up
zoom.
here, and the shingle all the way up
Shingle,
there?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just something with the shading and the render, but the intent is it's the same color and material to the parapet.
It looks a little odd, like this, it looks like the, it's,
Are you talking about the returns on that piece, or is it?
no, it's almost like the space between the two roof lines, like it's almost a little, like it needs a little, like, I don't know.
Oh,
maybe-
too much here?
I don't know,
Like
maybe, like,
between the lower parapet and the higher parapet?
yeah, I don't know, it looks,
Or maybe it's the return, that maybe the wall continued a little
Yeah,
bit more.
there's something about, there you go, Hervé.
I don't know, I think
I just wanna
the
make
other
sure.
ones have some nice, they cap off, they have a little articulation. On the white section there, there's really, it just goes straight up and, you know,
Yeah, maybe that's a wood,
doink, a crown molding. I don't know, it doesn't look as nice as the other buildings do, it needs a little.
seems a tad bit unresolved,
Yeah.
maybe, thank you.
Okay, so for now, we're seeing on the building B east, perhaps some detail at the top.
That's where we were.
What you're suggesting.
Yeah, what were you saying, Mr. John? Yeah,
Just basically differences in the elevations and the bump out versus the adjacent pieces. Maybe,
Yes.
the bump out could use that parapet cap to be a little bit deeper.
Uh-huh. Oh, since this is taller, the proportion of this should be a little bit thicker?
yes, yeah, yeah.
Then what we talked about with the transit.
But even
They can happen with transit.
We talked about it, and it was, yeah, so, yeah. I got
So, yeah,
our
so then.
construction guy and
you
architect.
have to create something.
Yeah, okay.
The other ones
B
are really
east,
nice.
crown thicker. Yeah,
If I
okay.
Go back to the.
All right, yeah, let's go back to full screen.
If I can get back to.
Can do that.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, I just want to talk about it while we're going.
Yeah,
along
sure, no,
the
it's fine,
pieces.
as long as I can keep notes. So,
Okay.
we thought this was an important view. Again, we know last time there were comments about, and the first time comments about the overall length of building B. And certainly when you look at it in plan view, you know, it looks like a long building, but really you'd only see that view if you had a drone shot looking down. And if you look at the whole flat elevation, it seems like a long building. But really no one is ever going to experience this building from above or from a position where they can see the whole thing. This is in the back of the site. It's got building C in front of it here on the right. So all of the angles of this building will be from the central drive, and they'll all be oblique. And so we kind of tried to get the most angled oblique version that you would see of this building to show how this deeply inset wide courtyard and the change in architecture really makes it feel like two separate buildings if you were walking up and down this road or driving up and down this road. So we hope we've done that successfully. I mean, we listened to your comments, we try to incorporate as much as we can. But even if that building had a hole through it at that point, we don't think that's really ever perceived. And quite frankly, we think that courtyard is nice with that brick backdrop.
I think you guys did a really strong job. I think this is like a great output of collaboration. Like, I know you guys have come here a long time and it's not fun to get all the feedback, but I think it's coming together to a greater, a stronger architectural material in the end.
Yeah.
Like, and you guys, you've altered the materials here as well. You have clapboard, shingle,
Yes.
different colors. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot, windows changed, window compositions, steps.
You've addressed the texture question we talked about.
Yes, yes.
And it's very successful.
Yeah, because you'll see, again, the A, the B, and the C facades, even here on the B, right, we have a little bit of stone at the bottom. The shingle
Yes.
goes all the way up, but here where it's inset, we have a little stoop and entry you'll see in a different picture, or a little landscaping, so the stone's not necessary there. But then we didn't go all the way up, we only went 2 stories up and changed the material, right? So we tried to, so each A, B, C has a different theme, but it's all contextualized. Next screen. Oh, yeah, thank you, sir. So this is a before where we were in October with this element to where we are now. Everybody was resisting the 5-bay width and the lower roof line. So again, you see how we have incorporated all the changes. It is now a 4-bay width, plus we've kind of tricked the eye and created this additional gable that seams forward and the other one seems back to really kind of get the scale down. Next slide. We're going to zoom into that. The stone base, up to the bottom of the second floor, the change in window patterns and thicknesses, and the change in the gable roof. Moving on. So there's your flat elevation again. You see the A, the B's, and C's. Kind of all cohesive, but also changing so it's not so monotonous.
Can we stop there a second?
Sure.
The large gable behind, it feels like there's something there, like there's room for some architectural element at the top there. It
Yes.
feels a little flat. Do you guys agree? If you see you're nodding, maybe it's
You mean in that,
in that wood space. That's, yeah, where Hervé, you're pointing exactly. I don't, maybe that's just me, just feel that's a very large area.
The worst idea would
Texas,
be,
they put the Texas Star up there.
I was actually thinking witch's window, which would be totally out of place, but that's exactly what they would do in Vermont, you know, with the 45-degree window. Okay, comment noted. Next. So this is actually a detail, right? Again, you can see how we're turning the corner with the stone masonry here. You can see how we work, again, the expressions and the recesses, the stoop, but really this is for the lighting. We're going to hide these door lights in this little canopy. Before we had kind of a decorative light on these columns, but that was when we needed to decorate it because we had the siding coming all the way down. Now that we have the stone masonry background, that's enough texture and color and interest that we don't think we need a decorative light. So we've gone for just like a little downwash splash of light on that facade to highlight that material at night. And then the simple gooseneck, and those are the light fixtures. So those are the on-building light fixtures, which I don't know that we detailed last time.
We did it, but I love what you chose there, by the way. Sorry, I've looked at this plan for many hours, so, I like that light choice. It still feels on a larger scale when you look at the building. If that seems small, that might just be me, so I'm throwing it out there.
Sure.
If there was another option for something,
You're
I don't know,
talking
if it's
about
9 inches versus
that one, or
not the gooseneck, those ones here, the little downcast lights. They're pretty small for a, I don't know, what's this facade? 15 feet with
We
another?
literally wanted those to almost disappear. We actually,
Oh.
you know, because it was about the wash of light, not the
Okay.
fixture.
Okay,
I'm with them.
okay, yeah, that
Okay,
that
great.
explains the choice then.
Next. Oh, and this was the, it's not loading well, but this is the patina finish. I think that was the comment on the site lights from last time. So that's just showing that we are specifying that patina finish to give it a little texture and slightly different color than that wash black.
Fantastic.
Next slide. All right, this is looking C. This is building C. So across the street from building B, again, it's prominent kind of entryway, same comments, don't need to go over them. Next slide.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
What is the material?
Oh, look at that.
Of the underside up here?
Oh, on the
soffit-
underside.
soffit?
What's on the
Fiber cement.
It's a fiber cement with no articulation, no boards or no venting.
It could have like be a
I
soffit.
mean, the traditional
material.
would be to have some sort of,
Oh, texture.
yeah, like lines. Because these are pretty big elements, and they're sticking out, what, 18 inches at least?
Couple of feet. Yeah.
2 feet.
2 feet. So if they get uplighting at some point, it's gonna be pretty flat. If it's all fiber cement, one board, I think there's a chance for articulation.
So you're thinking just like a piece of trim at the joints or something, just to give it a little
Well,
interest?
What's I forgot the
Like
name. The name
tongue
of
and groove.
these soffits with the little boards,
Tongue and groove.
Tongue and groove, there we go, tongue and groove. Clap, yeah. But,
That makes sense.
and I think what Ms. Geiger was talking about could also apply in some cases here, because at the very top, you get that
Yes.
perfect place for the wasp nest. So if you could reduce that depth and have something that maybe bridges across, go Shelby Wren or Wharton or any other,
Oh,
an architect.
create
You
a
get a- you get
detail
a-
for this.
Yeah,
corner?
you get something that bridges the gable, and then a couple of corbels or something that brings it back down. So you reduce the depth at the top, and you break that triangle. Right?
Yeah.
We like
That's-
that. Well, okay, we won't see that in
And
flat.
that kind of goes with the treatment of the underside of the soffit. Kind of like a whole thing.
All right, next slide. All right, so there's the flat. So you're talking about something
Yeah,
here.
See how
Yes.
this feels like it's kind of skinny right there, and it needs maybe another trim board and something that kind of gives it a little more articulation.
Okay. Next slide.
intersection, sorry. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So this is the parklet, we're bringing this up, you can't quite see it, right, but these A facades are on all of the sides of this intersection, which brings the park into the site. So this is the north side of E, the north side of D, the west side of C and around the corner, the south side of B. They all have that A facade, so next slide.
What do you mean by A facade?
This treatment, yeah.
I thought this was facing the park.
That one is too, yeah, so you can, same thought, when the stone masonry comes all the way up, we have the change in windows up
A
there.
as in articulated.
That's the only one that's not
stone-
gabled, I think.
Stone, but no gable.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see that here. So this is a little different than you had in your packet, because in the packet it was all green and you couldn't see the buildings. So we came up with a four-season view to show you that when Jay does his landscape design, he doesn't just think about one season, he's thinking about colors all year round. So this is the winter version also to show you those facades that I was talking about, and you can click through the four
We
seasons.
stay here a second?
Yeah, sure.
Feedback on building C. The top of that, I know you talked about not being able to go higher with the roofs, do a transom
Yeah,
above,
yeah.
but the roof line again feels another unresolved area. I wondered if there's another, like a heavier trim you could put up there to maybe to kind of anchor that building a little bit more, especially with that.
This one, so like maybe a slightly thicker trim, but what if it was a little shorter?
Yeah, well, see, yeah, go back to the other slide, the more flat, take away the pretty of the rendering.
The elevation?
Yeah, go to the elevation, wait, yeah,
Yeah,
wait.
okay, this one here.
Yeah, there you go, it's that. I don't,
Maybe we can do some decorative shingle treatment there,
Yeah.
a pattern.
So is that the parapet, hiding the parapet?
Yeah, that's the parapet, which is a
Are
little
you-
flexible,
Yeah.
so we could,
Maybe bring that down a little bit.
yeah,
and
because
then-
there's just too much real estate in there. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Or address it with some kind of other
Yeah,
element.
so the proportion
Yeah.
between the trim and the space between the top of the window and the top.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can create a band too if you want.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's spring, and next one is summer, and next one is fall. Anyway, we're excited about this little spot and how it projects into the site, so you got all four.
Lots of selfies.
Yeah, really, and they're there the whole time.
Same people. They really are very, very good, they're loyal.
But the birds keep moving.
The bird keep going.
It's actually pretty good. Were they flying south and then in the fall and north in the spring? That would be good, that would be good.
Back up a second.
All right, we can go to 20, I guess. So now this is turning the corner, going out towards Hecker. E is on the right.
So you guys don't
E is
have
on
a
the left.
picture of building B, the end of building B, looking for a park there? Because that's a corner I wanted to address further. Are you gonna
So
go
we
back to that?
have, we have full elevations at the end. We can hit
Do you want,
that. Can we
you
hit
wanna go
that
back to
here?
the, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, again, I think that, this is repeating the same conversation, but here we have the articulation of building B, the recesses, the parts that are forward, and how we've broken things up. Continue. That's elevation of building E. Continue. And this is the Hecker view, building D on the right. Again, showing you where we were in October versus where we are today. And I agree. I think we're much stronger now. You can go one more forward, it'll blow that up.
For the brick, you've chosen, maybe that's just a rendering, but you've chosen to just have a common running bond, no articulation at the corners.
There's some soldier
There's
courses at the
A
lintels,
lintel,
and
but
there's
nothing
some
on the columns.
on the columns, there's some base articulation.
Nothing at the corner of the columns, pretty much.
Right now it's showing us simple, we could add a little bit of a bond there.
It would make them thin, look thinner if you had
Like a
a
stack bond
force
on
to
there.
stack bond on each corner.
Okay.
But is that,
Then you start to.
I guess my question is, it better or worse? Do we like them hefty or do we want them to look thinner?
That's actually why I'm bringing this
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
The size of the column is a little bit, the size and the proportion is different.
Right, right.
It was, it was siding with some trim which made them thin,
Mhm.
and now it's The only part so far on this rendering is the northern course of the lintel, but nothing special on the column, which
Yeah.
we're discussing could be articulated.
You want to go forward one, it's a bigger version of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
you could-
this is a
like
good
Very
something
improvement.
here.
This is very,
I don't think it,
Yeah.
I don't think it
Yeah.
needs more decoration or articulation.
No? Just keep it a running bone all around?
Yeah, you know why? Because it reads as that mass at the base,
Okay.
and I don't think you need to further
No, I'm just
refine it,
bringing it
'cause
up
it's
as
got a
a
big, heavy top.
discussion.
okay,
Those downwash lights that are on the top of those
Yes.
columns?
Yes, correct.
okay.
All right, next
Same
slide.
here.
And there's
Okay.
the elevation of building D.
It actually looks thinner there.
Yeah, maybe it is the
Yeah,
way
it
the
doesn't-
angle is.
See the rendering.
Mhm.
Oh, you know why this is tilted in this one, so you might actually be
Ah.
seeing a thinner side.
Mm,
All right,
Alright.
next one. And so this is kind of just a reminder of
Before.
where we came from and where we are. So, you know, we can all pat ourselves on the back. Next slide.
Much better.
It's a different party.
You know, look, I think you can appreciate how much we listened and earnestly tried to take all of your comments and get them into the design to the extent that we could. Next slide. And the clubhouse we're doing versus the clubhouse we started with. Next slide. So if you go
yeah, that's
a
good.
few more, Hervé, we'll get to the elevation.
That's
Oh, this was without the
That's
trees.
before the planting.
We cut the trees down in this one, but we still have the selfie.
Yeah, wait,
But no
that's still
birds.
same.
But you can see again how we've
So that's-
created,
so
you know,
that-
this, we made this space important by assigning importance to those facades. I think one more, we'll get to building B.
There's one thing you didn't point out that, for the board's sake, is there are a lot of corner windows. And that's a strong element because they read as a diagonal relationship to the rest of the site. And so when sometimes you see them in elevation, they look like they're kind of stuck to the side of the building, but in reality, you can really see it here.
Dimension.
These corner windows really address
You
to
see
kind
through.
of turn the corner,
Mhm.
and then they kind of create a different reading.
Yeah.
When this is, you know, this is framed, but this is corner, and there's a few other places where there are corner windows like that.
Right, yeah,
When we were looking at the drawings, we were,
yeah, agreed, it's nice.
like,
So
you'll
that's
see them
A.
on these facades.
Yeah, over there, if you want it.
Mhm.
I think you go one more, we're at building, that's before and after, next one.
And again, by the way, going back to that one, that shows you that, again, the gable there in the new version, again, stronger, but yeah,
Yeah.
I feel, yeah, something up there,
But I
yes.
think, creating I don't think you need to add another window.
No.
It could be just something that happens at the top of the gable.
Like a pattern in the
Yeah.
siding almost, or,
Or-
yeah,
A Texas
or that little
stone.
thing in the corner.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right, just a little something.
All right, so next slide,
Connecticut nutmeg.
I think, we want the next slide. And then, I think Liz wanted to talk about, this is
Yeah.
facing the park.
So I wondered why you didn't, so you've got a nice corner element there again with like, how you restructured the building, so you've got a nice corner that's a wood piece, you got stone, end of the road, you've got stone, like a stone base, and then you turn the corner looking at the park, and it almost feels like the stone right there, where it's touching should be continued. Like that should be a stone,
Yeah, I think
it finishes that,
the
anchors
reason
that
for
building.
that was
No, okay.
simple.
think you don't.
We wanted these things on the drive, right? And this turns a corner. Really, the only people that see this are the people that might be walking in the park on a
Yeah.
particular day.
Okay.
So we just didn't think this facade was as important as the others, so it didn't match the kind of theme and hierarchy we had.
Okay.
So it was a choice.
Okay.
So, as I started, I was hopeful that we can get a report, and I think we could, if I could list off the very specific comments that we had. So I had on building B elevation east side, where the expressed element had a taller parapet to kind of resolve the spacing there between the the molding, and the height of the parapet.
Mhm.
That was item one. I had in B West, that gable that seems a little naked, want something to dress it up a tad, not a lot, don't overdo it kind of thing, is what I'm hearing. Come up with a detail for our soffits, other than one smooth, a plain,
Yep.
have some texture to it, and
Wait a
perhaps
minute,
some.
no timber frame? No timber frame look
What do you mean where?
in the soffits? Well, not soffits, what you were talking,
Oh.
Harold was talking about the, horizontal piece.
Some detail
Yeah,
in that space.
Yeah, but if it's exposed, you got
Yeah.
maintenance problems.
Yeah.
So I'm opposed to that,
What do you
for
think?
maintenance
Greg?
problems.
Mm.
I'd rather deal with the wasp nest in the peak than deal with bird's nests on the timber
Oh,
frame.
yeah, no brackets sticking
No
out.
brackets, no
No,
nothing.
something that.
No, it's not gonna be exposed
Yeah.
structure, it's gonna be like a covering, like a board fiber cement or some
That's
kind
fine,
of
just
back
no,
up.
softening
no,
treatment.
You wanna go back?
I was thinking, he was thinking like a piece of timber frame. or
Back to one
something,
that shows that.
Like no improvements.
No maintenance issues.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
To get to
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah,
This one
so,
is not a good example.
yeah, because we have the window, we might not even need something on this one.
Yeah, no, you don't need something there at all.
It's only that one.
Only, yeah, that one there in the background.
Okay, so it's really resolving the building B. So why don't we leave the choice of that thing to us if we
Yeah.
feel like it, but definitely building B, we want to show you a little something.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about,
Darian.
yeah, okay, but we do want texture on the soffit.
This one too.
Yeah, what's that there?
Yeah, on some of them, okay, got it.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
Well, I'm glad that this is what we're down to. It seems very manageable. And then I had building C West, similar to the comment, the first comment, which is just on that building C West, which had like the proportionality between the crown molding and that
Yep.
space.
Yep.
So really, actually, there's kind of only two comments, right? One is the proportionality on those two types of situations, and
Mhm.
two is the soffit texture and then potential detail on some of the blanker gables.
I'm gonna add a third,
Okay,
I promise
okay.
it's very small.
Okay.
I just think that we should look at, the texture with the copper patina, I think might look a little odd.
Okay.
So maybe the smooth, in the copper or the rust, does anybody have an opinion on that? But I think smooth instead of the texture.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
Do you
cool
like
with
the
that.
rust?
I know we brought Jay
The
first.
rust, patina.
Huh?
You like the rest?
The rust or the patina, I actually like the patina, but
Okay.
I'll defer to you.
But smooth, I think the bollards themselves, when they have that texture, it doesn't look very metal then. It looks kind of
11 or 12.
too much, yeah? Okay. All right, so then patina and smooth.
One more.
Okay.
Okay, so a patina, smooth, not textured.
Not textured, yeah.
So that is our presentation, unless you have any more questions, and I will double cross my fingers that you feel comfortable providing a positive report to P&Z with these conditions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Want to see the garages? Okay.
No, yes, we did look at them in the elevation. I don't think we had any commentary.
We
did.
because
Yeah.
It faces the
It's
highway.
I think we, yeah, we
Yeah,
said,
they're like,
They're-
up like that, right?
I think we
So
kind
would
of
you-
terrible look at, but.
Is this something that you would feel comfortable leaving up to Hervé when we,
You could
you know,
send,
are doing
you could send
construction
revised
or-
PDFs, and then we could do, administrative report, I could send an official, I probably will send an official letter in addition.
Okay.
But, yes, I can say, I don't think you need to come back. I think this is
Okay.
stuff that you could send, unless the board feels passionate about looking at some of those unresolved areas. Do you guys trust that? I think
We're
you-
gonna get PDFs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So send PDFs, and then and barring any I mean, it sounds like everything, all the feedback we've had has been integrated beautifully, so I feel like what you guys are gonna select here, I think is gonna finish it off nicely. So I think we'll just quickly review PDFs, administrative approval.
Did David have questions about the back facade? Is that what you wanted to see?
No, that sounds like it got looked at last time. I just didn't see,
Changes.
I guess there's an elevation somewhere in there, but the
Yeah,
garage is on the
right
north
there.
side of the, not the north.
Yeah, the
side,
ones
but
into the
ones-
hillside,
Oh, yeah.
the ones going in the
Oh,
hillside,
the actual
right?
garages?
Yeah,
Opposite
Yeah,
side
yeah, yeah.
garages.
I don't know.
We have
Yeah,
elevations.
there's
in the garages.
elevations.
It's in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the back order.
Yeah.
And then advance probably after the buildings. C, D, E, next one, garage.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we
Oh,
looked
no,
at, we
keep
didn't spend a
going.
ton of time on them because.
I did see them, I know they're here.
And also that's like.
Yeah. they're not there.
37.
Page 37?
There we go. Yeah. So basically, from the 95 side, you see, here, this is the grade in the back. So it's a retaining wall on the back side and a sloped roof towards, and you're not gonna see anything from 95 because all the trees anyway.
Sorry, I was trying to zoom in, it doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, this is the whole profile from that back edge.
God.
We've had it.
We've been
Yeah,
doing
just go-
pretty well so far.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
yeah, it's like,
Up one, I think. Up, down two.
no, we're in the second.
Oh, no, they're up.
We're,
I'll tell you which slide.
there.
it is. Okay. Yeah, that's the profile from 95 at the bottom, the north elevation. Not that you would ever see that, but that shows you how it's cut into the hill.
Right, so the reason you have this is so that you have like a little loft or something inside the garage to get a little extra height?
The only two bits that actually have floor are on the left and right because we have like a maintenance office or something, for the site
Okay.
super. Are these storage or just lofted space inside?
Just a little bit of space there.
I guess you could like hang a kayak
Yeah,
or something if you
yeah.
really wanted to.
Okay. Okay. I mean, again, I have to say, this is a great outcome of collaboration. I mean, we see a lot of applicants in here, I think you guys did a really good job, like, taking your feedback, incorporating it, working together with us, thank you. Very successful.
Thank you. Thanks.
So, favorable
Rodrigo and
report.
his team of
Once you do
six that were working on
PDFs.
this.
One thing that needs to be looked at though, that's not, I'm gonna make a note that's not on here, is the signage. You're like
Yes.
putting it all here,
Yes.
none of that is
No
approved.
no signage
Yeah.
approved, you can put that in.
And
the
probably
report.
what you showed on there would not be approved. I mean,
Understood.
So, probably something thinking of like, yeah.
Noodle stuff.
Yeah, think of better materials, nothing
Yes.
illuminated. So I guess that's it.
Okay, so yes, sir.
One quick thing, we recommend, I didn't hear your notes, but I think you probably have it, is reduce the size of the parapet, height of the parapet.
Yes. Building, west side building C,
Yeah.
and then also a couple of elements on the south side of building B.
Yeah.
Yep, got it. So we'll touch a couple of those, we'll just send kind of pictures of those pieces to Hervé. We'll just send pictures of those pieces to
Yep,
Hervé.
pictures to Hervé, yep.
Yep.
He'll blast them to all of us just so we have them for our records.
Yep, okay.
And then,
If you can
I
do
will
them
write-
as a before and after, that'd be great.
Oh, sure.
This way, because it's, right, for like little,
yep, like you did before and after. And I could decide, I think I need to write you a letter in this case, an official letter.
Yeah,
I
can
think
do
I'll
that.
put that together.
Yes,
Um,
before the 9th.
Before the 9th, all right. I got nothing to do, sure, yeah,
It's
for
just the
sure.
holidays, right?
We'll get that done, not to worry.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Close, and we'll grab.
yeah.
Okay. How quickly, Craig, do you think you get those PDFs to me?
Rodrigo.
Are they by next Monday?
Tomorrow morning.
Next Monday?
Are they before the holiday?
He's very quiet.
When's the holiday?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try.
Keep us,
Yeah.
I'm not rushing, I just wanna know for timing management. Keep us
Okay.
posted with Hervé, let us know what you,
I'll let
once
you
you,
know.
once you, yeah, reconvene. All right, our final application for the night is also old business. It is ARB number 25, 2024. It is for the Goddard School at 346 Heights Road. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no, no.
Did you bring it back to sunrise? What'd you do? It doesn't want to roll.
You know why? Because I think it's because I'm,
You what?
I was just, so let me get out.
It doesn't want to download.
Yeah, as long as you can, make sure you reference, make sure you're all listed.
Yeah, material board is listed for joint. I'll get that in.
Yeah, or you take pictures of the board.
Right. 100%, yeah. Yeah,
I'll try it again. I am back out.
right, 100%. That should be,
I was in this.
But it poked up from the top.
PowerPoint for ARB.
Yeah, it was based on building.
right. Ask her.
Yeah, you want the additional.
It was going to be,
This is look at slide.
four corners had four vignettes.
Okay, sorry, let me pull this up and then we can get started here. This is the 1119.
It was fun.
All right, so, welcome back. Like I said, ARB number 25, 2024. This is the Goddard School. This is our second time reviewing you guys. And Mr. Mazin, I'm gonna have you introduce yourself. Actually, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Bob Nestle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm the attorney for Goddard tonight, which is the applicant. The two, where are they? John and Joe from V20 of the Caros are here, but it's not their application. They just obviously are interested and they've authorized me to do this application for this property. With me are Ken and Kristen Bodenstein, who are the, you say, owners, operators of the Goddard School in Westport, and they'll be running the school here in Darien. So we went through slides last time, and if...
Bob, before you get into this, I want to start with one thing.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed a little unclear after you came here, like to your clients or you guys, about what the ARB's mandate was. And I saw your revised presentation, and it showed pictures of crash sites and a lot of stuff that really doesn't apply to us. So I think it's important that I restate what the ARB mandate is here. So in our zoning regulations, section 41-8, which covers the duties and powers of the Architectural Review Board, Section C says the purpose of the Architectural Review Board is to provide guidance in preserving and improving the appearance and beauty of the community, thereby achieving site plans and architectural design of buildings and other structures and improvements that are of such character as to harmonize with the neighborhood and surrounding uses, as well as protecting the town's architectural heritage and furthering the preservation of property values. So, we're not here to talk about...
This is here because someone, the last time we were here, asked if the building itself was going to provide sufficient protection from vehicles crashing into classrooms.
Okay.
That's why this is here. That's the only reason. It's not because it has anything to do with the architectural
And that is a
design.
that is a good question to answer, like how come the building wasn't built to
This
be
is
more
why,
protective?
uh,
Why wasn't the building built to be more protective? That's a great
I
question,
mean,
let's
it's a
start with that.
standard building spec.
'Cause I
It's
think-
not, it's, Goddard School has standards for child safety. And this is one of them. They want bollards around the perimeter of anywhere where children are during the day. And that includes the building, obviously the playground. But that's why we're doing bollards. And someone asked about the building, and this is just a response to that. That's the only reason, but I think it's important to know that there is a history of vehicles crashing into buildings through walls, and it happens.
Right.
So this is a layer of
I mean, I feel like
protection.
that should, yeah, knowing that the Goddard School was gonna go there long before, I mean, I think there could have been a place to have addressed the structural integrity of the building, and now we're all here sitting in the aftermath, putting a Band-Aid on this and trying to put protection on it when possibly the building could have been safeguards. I mean, you guys must deal with this all the time, right, when you're building, you know it's,
All the time.
so I don't know why But that's not for us to address, but that probably, this is kind of the
No,
aftermath that we shouldn't really having to deal with. But that said, we're looking at it from an architectural standpoint.
Right.
And not talking
I
about.
got that,
Okay.
I got that, I told
Alright.
you, that's the only reason.
So let's
it's
bump
here.
through, we've seen the, let's
So-
get to the actual layout of the presentation. We're gonna pop through
So if you go to
this.
19, slide 19, that's it's a little header slide for.
So this we've all
where we
seen, this
started.
was all here, right?
So then you go to, I mentioned 26. So there's kind of an outline here, go back a couple, back to 27. Okay, up before. This is the important and most significant part of this issue with the bollards. Goddard standards are that they have to be crash rated, and the crash rating is S10 or the ASTM F3016 standard, which is a 5,000-pound pickup truck traveling at 10 miles an hour.
Okay.
That's the protection standard, and that's what these bollards are. And they're required by Goddard. So, Hervey, if you go to the next.
Can I just make one comment?
Sure.
I'm not an expert in ASTM standards. I think part of what we were hoping to see as an outcome from last meeting, and you can tell me whether any of this occurred, was I would think there should be alternatives to a standard bollard that still meet those ASTM requirements. Again, I can't say myself, but I will ask the question, are there alternative protection systems that meet those requirements that might, align with the architectural elements that we would hope to see there that are not just the standard bollards as they are designed around the building?
Not that are rated.
That's not true.
That's
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's literally not true. So there's
Well,
lots of
what
different rating
alternatives
methods.
are rated other than bollards that would fit here?
I mean, there are construction things, right? Like there's not,
I'm sorry, construction what?
apologies, I am also not an expert in this.
Mhm.
I am not. However, there are safety standards and there are journals of transportation safety that publish studies that show what rating and to what construction level things can be built at for these things. I don't know, I found one that discussed walls. I have found other ones that discussed reinforcing buildings. They exist. This is not my job. I do wish that, we had a landscape architect or the architect of these buildings to kind of discuss these options with us a little bit more. However, there are tests that are done on certain walls, structures, heights, rebar strength, and all those things do lead to a recommendation of a rated item, right? So I don't think that it's fair to say that only bollards are rated for crash testing, because the merit isn't just bollards, that's a rail. Around town in schools, you see walls that are crash test ratings. So I don't think that that's quite correct to phrase it that way.
I've also had professionally the experience of working with a landscape architect who's designed benches that can meet that ASTM rating in a very heavy traffic vehicular zone next to a pedestrian zone. There are other options.
Are they all like this that can be almost completely screened?
Well, I could imagine if you can create a bench that has a back, sure.
But it's out there and I don't,
We don't need it
we're
screened.
talking
The
about,
screening was only applying to the needs to hide bollards along at certain points. The screening is secondary, right? We're looking at architectural design without the screening. Let's remove that and talk about.
well, I don't understand that.
We're looking at
because-
the building integrity without screening, that's an overlay.
So can I ask a question?
But
Where
they're
do
not, I mean, you can't expect the building owner to redesign and rebuild
Building's
this for
built
one
at
tenant.
this point.
They're not gonna be there for the life of the building. This is a building that was already vetted, approved, under construction. And yes, Bollard was in the picture, Goddard was in the picture when we came here. But that was a few years ago, and anything can happen in the meantime.
Can you
So-
describe where in that site plan you need to have that vehicular protection?
Yes. Adjacent to the playground. Inside the fence on this walkway along what's going to serve as an emergency exit. Down along the corner. And then on the inside corner here, where vehicles can collide with, run off the road, collide with the building. Along here, the grade is such that there's a sidewalk that's up higher than the street level, which serves the same purpose as the
The curb is
bollards.
high
The
enough.
bollards are not necessary there because there's other protection in place because of the site design. When you get over here, this is, you can't touch this, I'm sorry. Okay, when you get over here, this is a bollard occupied classroom or whatever they call it. Now when you get here, this is no longer a Goddard space. This is a common area for entry upstairs. And then when you get along here, these are the bollards along the angled parking spaces to protect the playground from people running over the parking.
Hey Bob, what might be helpful
If
is
there's-
showing the change in plan from what they were here last time
Mr.
to
Vicara,
this
if
one.
there's-
Well, we can, but
You're welcome to speak, I'd love you guys to speak, but you guys gotta come up on the screen so we can see you.
Okay,
Yeah? Is that
all
okay?
right.
okay.
I think,
Let me.
Can you introduce yourself, Mr. Vicara?
okay. John McCarroll, the developer owner. We tried to basically, since we were here last time, is to shield the bollards so it's not visible from the road. Okay, and you gotta talk about the changes between the last
Oh, yeah.
meeting and this meeting. And maybe we're off track here a little bit, but almost all on Hollow Tree, we covered up these bollards so you can't see them from the street. Here, the fence ends, and these you have to see.
What do you mean you covered them up, Mr. Vicara?
We put them on the inside of the fence, so you can't see them from the road.
Great, that was one of the things we asked for, awesome.
Okay,
That's a
that
good
was
change
good.
on the
Exactly.
Great.
And then here, where we have the bollards here, we hid those behind, doesn't show that well here, but I believe those are behind the fence.
No, those are outside, they can't be inside the playground, they're outside the fence, but you originally approved those.
That's fine though.
That's fine,
Those are
that's
okay in the
fine.
back.
Those are totally
They're
fine in
not,
the
they're
back.
not client, they're not pedestrian facing, it's a different,
Okay.
Right,
No,
but we did change it from the dark blue Goddard color to white to blend in with the fence.
Can I just expand?
You have to give me your.
Well, just let me finish one other thing. The other thing we looked at, and somebody mentioned before, guardrails of some sort. We looked at the Merritt Parkway guardrail because these folks have that at the Westport School, which is made out of timber and whatnot. We just thought that the town would say, we don't want that. So that's why we didn't even propose it. So, I mean, if you wanted us to go back to it, we could
No.
consider it.
It was
There's
only-
infrastructure under there.
that was only suggested as an example that there are many other alternatives than just bollards.
Okay, I'll let you go on.
Well,
So just, if I could
Oh,
just,
go ahead.
I'm Ken Bodenstein, just can I expand for a minute? So as John mentioned,
Do you mind just spelling your last name?
Bodenstein. So as John mentioned, I mean, what we took from you guys last time was that, you know, the real concern was all of the bollards along Hollow Tree Road, this intersection, the bollards here. And, you know, obviously along Heights Road here, we don't have bollards because as Bob mentioned, there's a change in elevation.
And all those going in on the road, when you turn into this beautiful new building, you've got bollards now along the entrance walking in.
Okay, so just staying with here, you know, as John mentioned, the first thing we did was we came up, and we spent a lot of time on this, was we came up with a solution that, you know, we felt, as we said, we moved the fence out so that the bollards are hidden by the fence and the plantings, so that you really won't be able to see the bollards from the road. And of course, the major concern was what to do about this corner. And I can tell you, we agonized over this and went over solution after solution after solution one of the solutions that we looked at carefully that John mentioned was the idea of Merritt Parkway guardrails, because that is a very, I mean, that works very well for us in Westport. Frankly, it provides probably a higher level of protection than the bollards because there's no spacing in between them. We also looked at some other options. We know you guys wanted us to look at a stone wall. We looked at everything, and we were out there with our contractor.
What were some of the other solutions?
Well, the other solution was a wall, a stone wall.
Okay,
The problem was very simply this, and we spent a lot of time standing there. If you look at the infrastructure that's here, and the amount of spacing, and the change in grade from the road down, and there's also, I forget, is it a sewer infrastructure that's in there?
It's on there, you can see the pipe.
Yeah, and everything else, there's no room to put anything other than bollards. I don't even know that we could put Merritt Parkway guardrails, even if you approved Merritt Parkway guardrails, I don't think our contractor pretty much said to us, I don't think we can get them in. I don't think we have the room in the ground for the foundation for them. So that's the problem, and that was why we had to stick with the bollards, because the bollards are here, you know, up against the building. And there's just no way to put anything in, I'm sorry about that, in this corner here because of the change in elevation and the infrastructure that's in the ground. It's just not workable. And that infrastructure primarily includes, it's a sewer drain pipe thing, which is pretty deep and pretty large, and it's in, so it can't be moved. So
just to recap, so I know for our record, so that we explore this, can you tell me, list out all the solutions you guys, you said you had solution after solution after solution, can you give me a recap of what those were so I know that we don't exhaust those? So what were the options you guys looked at?
okay, well, you know, we went through the different types of bollards and bollards versus bollard covers and different bollards that we had looked at and thought, oh, this was a great looking bollard, but then we realized it's not a crash rated bollard. So working with Goddard, you know, we looked at all the different bollard options because we were researching bollard options on our own and saying, hey, this is a much better looking bollard, it's much more decorative. Except then we find out it's not a crash rated bollard. So, you know, the first was within the bollards, working with Goddard to find out what are the bollards that are acceptable to them. And we have to maintain their standard. So that was number one. Number two was looking at the option primarily of a wall, some type of a wall, which we talked about with John and Joe, and also the potential for Merritt Parkway guardrails. And you know, those were the primary other things to look at there. I don't know what else we could have done, but it was made very clear that the infrastructure that was there would not support anything along the corner here. And that ruled out a wall, and that ruled out pretty much the guardrails. And it left us with really nothing but the bollards.
Did you work with the landscape architect to
The
see
other-
what other options you had to incorporate these bollards with something that is a lot more attractive than looking at a bunch of bollards?
They're almost all screened. We'll get to the slide in a
Well, no,
moment.
the ones
but
in the corner aren't screened, the ones at the entrance aren't screened. I
if
mean,
you
is
go
there an
to-
opportunity to,
Can you go to 31, Hervé?
I can do, no, it's like stuck on the larger picture. Can you minimize it with your
Can you
finger?
do this?
There we go. That's good.
Okay,
That one?
that's,
You just didn't show the bollards, you just didn't.
they're
This is
there.
a, but
The
also,
way this was
the struggle
made,
with this, there's no planning plan here, right? This is just a rendering. It doesn't actually, if you're gonna show this, we actually would need a true planning plan.
there is a landscape plan that the ARB approved when this building was approved. We're working off that landscape plan.
That has to be revisited, Bob.
These plantings are all the same
That has to be
holly.
revisited because the bollards weren't on that landscape plan. That changes things completely, right? You can't look at a landscape
Are
plan
you
in a vacuum.
suggesting that we put some other screening in front of the bollards?
but that plan is in a
You thought this
vacuum.
was what you wanted.
I'm
You
no
thought this
landscape
was what you were looking for. Screening of the bollards, so.
If you're gonna do it, you have to put it in actual, in a plan. You have to bring back and show how the bollards relate.
That's,
On,
there you are.
But where are the bollards?
This is a rendering.
Bollards are-
They're here.
this is-
Can you zoom in?
We changed the color too.
Okay. Do we have a landscape plan that shows the bollards and then where?
There's one right here. And there's another one that you can see, I believe it's right here.
I mean, I feel like
The rest of them,
This is a
they're
joke.
6 feet apart, and they're behind the landscaping.
But the plan shows them, like, they look like they're 2 feet apart.
Mhm.
In the
What's
plan-
confusing part?
She just wanted to see a site plan with the plantings and the bollard in one combined drawing. It would be really nice to see that in specific, that's all. I
Let me
mean,
see
it looks
what,
like you've handled it, but we can only piece the pieces together. It would be really great if it could be
let
in
me
one
see what
drawing.
I can, if I have, which one?
There was a driveway to the right of the brick building.
All I can say is this planting arrangement here was previously approved, and we were working off that to screen the bollards, so that you can't see the bollards for the most part. You can see, if you look really closely, there's one here and then there's one behind
Well, so
here.
if you have a
The way this
planting
rendering
plan,
is
could you
made-
take the planting plan and put the bollards on the planting plan? That's all they want to see.
Not
That's
the
all
other way
they're looking
around?
at. Huh?
I
You
mean,
can
the
do
planting
that, too.
plan is in the rendering. The way this
You have a
is
site-
Do you
done,
have a
A rendering?
planting plan? Do
They
you
wanna
have a
see the
site
list.
plan?
You approved
Can you
it.
put the bollards on the
Right.
planting plan, site plan? Can you just combine the drawing?
the-
That's all we're asking. It's
I think
simple.
they already-
A rendering is a lot of smoke and mirrors. We'd like to see it on plan. That's it. Thank you.
the way this rendering was made was, the drafter took the site plan.
I know how renderings are
With-
made. Please don't explain that to me.
Furthermore, the
Any other
landscaping plan,
questions?
Bob, the landscaping plan you have here doesn't include like the fence, things have all changed, as you said. You know, the Goddard School wasn't a building, that's why this building isn't built structurally to take the Goddard School. So many things have changed since we approved that plan. So what was once approved is now different, because you have new elements that have been introduced here. So it needs to be a new presentation as part of this, a landscape plan to accompany these supposed bollards. Furthermore, we talk about there are still bollards along the roadway that have zero screening, right, when you go in. So the utilitarian white crappy bollard, it's just not gonna cut it. If you guys are making an argument that nothing else works here, and the only thing you have is bollards, then we gotta come up with a different one, because we've seen a plethora of them and beautiful ones, but that doesn't work.
There are alternate solutions that can be created. If you have to use those bollards, with a landscape architect, create something that screens them and makes it a much more pleasant arrival sequence. There
Or
are solutions.
integrates them. It looks
It's-
like a
yeah.
loading
There's
dock.
absolutely nothing you can do to cover up those bollards there.
You can't
I'm
cover
not
them up
suggesting
anymore.
covering them
No,
up.
I'm saying there you can't do it, that's an entryway, two-way traffic flow into the
Mr.
project.
DeCare, if you're gonna speak, you can come up and sit down.
Sure. Look, guys,
You need to introduce
We
yourself
can
to the
change,
record,
we
please.
can
my name
change
is
the
Joe
color.
Lacaro, I'm the owner and developer of the project. On these property, this part of this view where this is coming, it's two-way traffic flow in and out of the project. I understand your point of it being unsightly. At the same time, I don't think anything about projects throughout town have ever been called unsightly, so I will make sure that it's not done unsightly. And to your point about wanting a landscape plan, we can do that, that's not a problem. We'll have our landscape architect get that over to you. This is one area where we agree, we'd like to try to do something better here. It has to maintain the safety rating. That's the only thing that we as a developer care about.
I don't think we're arguing that. I think what we're asking for is some kind of softening or addressing from a visual perspective, the appearance of what that looks like. It's not just bollards. And I'm only throwing out landscape architecture because that's,
But you can't put plantings there, that's the problem.
We're not saying
well,
that.
but maybe a
Screening is
landscape
planting.
architect has other creative solutions.
We can change the colors to have it not stand out so much in front of the building.
I don't think we're gonna design it here as a committee. I would recommend you go back to the professionals who do this for a living and provide us with some alternative options.
Well, the roadways and sidewalks pretty much set in terms of.
Yeah, they're being put in now.
Dimension,
They're-
because I mean, you may not have many options if you have to have a certain clear path for pedestrian and the roadway, right?
Yeah.
So you have your dimensions set. I just want to bring that up. It's like there.
Is there something you can
if
do in
there's-
between?
What is this, 5 feet or? Yeah, there could be something in between.
Right, that is narrow, that is between the
Like a little
bollards,
barrier,
that, what-
decorative
yeah,
metal fence. or
whatever.
I mean, I've seen some quite amazing bollards all over England on sites like this, on direct roads, right, that are absolutely crash rated for highway level, 80 miles an hour, and they're much more attractive. There are other bollard opportunities. It could be that simple. It could be ones that fit your beautiful carriage house design. I mean, look, I remember the amount of time the Vaqueros put into this building.
I mean, maybe
There's
it could be
more
like a
context.
wall that's covering those bollards, like a
It's not,
thin
it's
stone wall.
a sidewalk, there's a minimum.
I know, but maybe you
width
could put like a
involved.
decorative wall, have some plants on
That's
top,
what I was
something.
thinking.
Hold on. Ah. So much for that idea. I was trying to get to that link, but there it is. Okay. That gonna work. It's not gonna work. Please. I can't open it. Sorry, I was hoping to open that.
You should be able to open that if you,
Yeah, I don't know how.
are you online?
Click on the,
I'm on the,
Click
oh,
on the blue.
Microsoft.
Click on the blue
Click on the blue?
twice.
Yeah, that should.
Nah.
Do it twice.
Can you
I'm
copy that
thinking-
thing below?
Copy
That-
the
Yeah.
link.
What Hervé is trying to open right now
Open link in
is
blue too.
a link to the company that Federal Realty used for their crash-rated
You have it,
bollards in their parking area.
Hervé, go back up to the Chrome, go back up.
It was lit.
It was it was the new window, no. No, go back down to what's open
What?
at the bottom. Go back up to your,
I was hoping to copy this not, okay, sorry. So,
you had it, go back before we pull up the applications,
Try.
Go to the Google.
where we were viewing things. Like, go to the bottom, like, you know where we were viewing stuff, go back down to like, maybe the blue swirl at the bottom, is
the Microsoft page?
that where we were?
Yeah.
Wherever we were, there's
No,
tabs that are
PowerPoint.
opening,
I think you're in the PowerPoint.
So that's,
there were
the
tabs.
problem
that were
is
opening.
this,
I think
these,
those
yeah, go ahead, because these computers are a little different.
There we go.
I tried to copy that, but yeah, there we go. Okay, that's the bowler idea. but-
The one that said Ballard Ideas?
Yeah, when you were right there, so bowler.
There,
idea
yeah,
is
the
the
third
next
one
right
in,
there,
yeah,
and
there.
then I can't
Yeah,
push
you
through
did.
that. Think that's gonna work? How that works.
There he goes. There you go.
Thank
There you
you,
go. Okay, thanks,
thank you. Great.
So Hervé, go to the search bar and type in crash related, maybe to save us some time.
So you'll see on these, a lot of them will say cover. They are covers over top of the crash-rated ones.
Where you want the search bar?
Right there where your mouse is, go left. Go
So,
down.
where do you see the?
Magnifying glass.
The magnifying glass?
Right there.
So look for bollards.
Actually, don't do, it doesn't make it, the crash rate doesn't, because if you do the covers, you can see the covers go on top of everything.
So the covers have to be at least 40 inches.
So you want crash rated boulders or covers? Just do
Covers.
Why should you do covers?
Yeah, this is just more looking for design for you guys, so you guys can get,
Crash related or rated.
right, so those are just the bases, right? They all have covers on top of
The
them.
interiors.
Yes.
All
There you go.
Okay,
Right.
That's the shaft.
And
okay,
then
so
there's
now, where would you like to go?
Oh yeah, polished.
This is, this is the Federal Realty.
Yeah.
This is
Cover?
the Federal Realty.
Cover.
Yeah, if you just go to the main page, you can see, like, so the main, like, if you just scroll down that, close this out, the X at the top, to the right. Go down a
No,
little.
no, 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 no,
No, no, no,
no, no, the big one to the right above.
Go
it.
down,
Crash rated
down,
bollards.
down.
down,
Okay.
that's it. Good job, Hervé. Just scroll down the site, just scroll down this. There you go.
Well, these are still crash rated.
We're still in the
Yeah,
crash
Yeah,
rated
so we
crap.
want to go back to the
No,
original page.
click this thing.
Yeah,
Right there.
there you go.
See where it takes you.
Decorative boulder. So
I mean,
it's
this is
all
just-
sorts of boulders.
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm starting to get real clear.
These are
I mean,
pretty, these
yeah.
are pretty,
Yes.
I mean, those aren't
Those are-
fitting with the style, something like that, that fits the actual carriage.
Find the ones that are 40 inches or more.
That'll help.
You guys are come at this. could be
Yeah,
very
Because I've
specific.
been to this site, it's a great site, and I've looked through it quite a bit, so find the 40-inch ones, and there are a couple choices. Not that, the covers.
Where
So
are the covers?
this is the task you guys are gonna have to do, is do your research and do the digging. We don't have to do this in our meeting now.
I
This
did,
is-
there are two. that are 40
On
inches.
this site?
Correct.
Yeah, you're gonna have to expand, I mean, this is one site you found, right? This is one site we pulled up to reference.
Correct, but every other site, I mean, they're pretty industrial looking, to be honest. This is the nicest one.
Well,
So
they
there
do
are two
custom.
choices on here
I
that
see
are 40 inches that work. There are two.
So you're saying your ball is gonna be 40 inches?
Yep, so these aren't tall enough, so you gotta find the covers. And the cover has to be 40
Yeah.
inches or more, and there's two choices. They're not great, but maybe you guys like them. I mean, they're doable for sure.
Okay, these are all 32, 35.
Yep,
In height you're talking about?
Yeah, the height is
yep,
here,
they gotta be
36.
40
Can they do
inches.
custom?
That's a good question.
There's a
There's a tab that
39,
says
they have to be
custom on
40?
top.
Looked at these together, this.
Not
Yeah.
There's some great
39, no?
ones.
What's that?
39 is not enough?
No, it's not, it's gotta be 40. Because I asked that same question, because that would have
39
given us
and
more
3 is
options.
40 and a half right
There's
there.
one here, okay,
Yep, so you got that one,
okay.
and then
It
there's.
has lights in it too.
Yeah, we're not doing the lights, but there it is without the lights, so that's good. And then there's,
This one.
40 and a half.
yep, that's another one, yep. And then there might be one or two others, but we could do those absolutely.
47, whoa.
That's too high.
It's a
53, that-
Small side.
The other, I mean, I would ask if they can do custom too, but pick a design that
Mm-hmm,
meets the architecture better
yeah.
and see what the custom, because you have a lot of bollards, so it's not
75,
like it's.
55. I
Are
mean,
you saying
But
put,
you don't
make
want these
all
in
of them
every
this way?
spot.
She's
You
saying
want
that
them
Or
to
just the
match
ones
it.
you can
the
see?
entry.
Yes, there's only four, there's half a dozen there. I mean, I guess, I mean, it might get kind of cost prohibitive, but, I mean, I don't know, what do you guys want?
this is
There's 40 and a half.
40 and a
Yep,
half.
that could be one, sure.
I see, like, even the chain between
Yeah.
the two, there.
Just makes it all just
creates
something
a-
else.
Detail.
Yeah,
You don't want anybody jaywalking there, that's for sure.
and they won't if you put a chain.
That's
what
good.
you did.
That would be helpful for the kids.
And then it becomes a railing, sort
Yeah.
of, right, rather than a whole bunch of bollards along that.
Mm-hmm.
That one's,
Walkway.
yeah, it's an interesting
Yeah, it's a good one.
option.
Kind of fits with the parking garage, which has an equestrian one.
Yep.
All right, so you guys have some direction to go with?
Well, I feel that
Well, we
can
had
come up-
direction before, we
Yeah.
thought we followed it.
So, I
Right.
mean, if you guys like a couple
So-
of these, we can decide. It's easy enough to decide.
I think there's more, I mean, I think there's more to explore out there, this is one site, unless people are passionate about someone and someone loves these, it's great.
I haven't found another site. I haven't, and I've spent quite a bit of time.
Have you
on
guys
it.
hired a landscape architect for this at all? Yours? Who's your landscape architect? I'll write that down. Who are you guys using?
Is it Fosserone?
No, it's the architect record. It's Matt Pop.
Well, we had Matt Poppin, the architect for the project.
Matt Pop's done a lot of work around town, he's very competent.
But these are the
He should
plantings
know.
that he put in his landscape plan when the building was approved.
Yeah, we're not gonna go back around in that circle again, Bob, but,
Well, I know that, but we're trying. You know, there's an approved landscape plan. And
so also, when you guys show renderings in your new, renderings, you show these bollards along the corner, whatever new bollards we pick around that brick corner. We should also see a height scale, because you're doing 40 inches, depending, I don't know how large that first floor of that building is, but the 40 inches might be higher than your average bush there. That'll be worth exploring, right?
I'm not
It's
sure.
over
what-
3 feet high.
It's over 3, yeah, so the bushes will not cover those bollards, you would see those from the road. And you're actually coming down a hill, hollow tree, so you're gonna be looking down on this furthermore. So it's imperative those bollards around the corner of that brick building are something attractive, not just,
Well, that's why they're dark green, to blend in with the hollies.
that they're not gonna blend in, is what I'm saying. I mean, unless, because they're 40 inches, you're looking down on them, there's an alternative option needs to be presented there.
Unless you're putting in 42-inch high
Bushes.
boxwoods, you know? So it's an evergreen all the way around, which this planting plan does not
I thought I had
call
one.
for, I don't think.
Plus, 42-inch boxwood
It
is
is.
pretty aggressive anyways.
They're holly, some type of holly.
Holly goes fast.
So, I mean, the only thing for us to consider too is, I mean, these could be like $600 a piece, and we've got a lot of bollards. Like, it becomes cost prohibitive to do a decorative cover over all of them. The ones on the entryway, of course, but, I mean, the ones around the property, the additional ones, we just have to be mindful of that.
I think if you showed us what the planting plan is, where those bollards are, and a rendered view to show the height of the bollard, where the shrub is in front of it, it's gonna tell us the story. Right now, we're not seeing the whole story. We're just asking you to show us the whole story.
So.
So you wouldn't have to do decorative bollards that are behind
Right,
shrubbery.
Right.
But we need to see what that looks like. That's what we're
Sure,
asking for.
I thought that the rendering was to scale, Bob, but they don't
It
believe
is.
it is?
That's the way they do it.
Okay, that's what I
They take the
thought.
site plan with all the specs and the heights and everything,
That's, okay,
and then make a street view, or,
sure.
And
You know.
I've had to do renderings, it's a lot of, it is, smoke and mirrors was exactly what it is. I like plans and elevations, that's actually what's going to be built to spec. I wouldn't waste your money on renderings, they're expensive. Plans and elevations, that's really all
We
we
were
need.
asked for renderings at the last meeting, so we spent our money on it.
I think going forward, just the plans and elevations, I think we can all understand where we're at here, so I would just that. Take the planting plan, put the bollards on it.
And also the new fence on there, like you guys said you moved the fence out now, so the fence is even closer to the road?
a few inches to
Right.
make, because the bollards stayed where they are, the fence is on the outside of the bollards.
So can we include that in the new landscape plan that shows the fencing and then again, the elevations and the scale of that?
Yeah, you might wanna revisit it really quickly. The landscape plan that was approved by, that's in your presentation, doesn't consider any fencing really at all along Hollow Tree Ridge. So I don't think that you'd be able to implement the plan as approved by the board, so you might wanna take a look at it.
Why not?
Because
If the
there's,
landscaping is along the fence and
it's along
completely
the, it's
screens the
along the
bollards.
building in the fenced area.
And along,
Page,
Here.
hold on,
Yeah,
I'll
go.
show you, page, just so I'm clear, I don't, I mean very well on this, page 4.
this.
Page
Page
4,
four?
survey, all the way up, that's the planting plan approved, is my understanding. Slide 4.
That's an excerpt, yes.
That's all fenced now,
Yeah.
Right.
so how are
This-
you gonna put in
this
all those
part,
plants there?
That sidewalk
That
was
we
there
approved
originally.
of?
It's just
I'm-
the fence
I'm
and
just-
and the
It's gonna
shrubs are
have to
moved
be
to the outside.
revisited, you know, you're gonna have all these extra plants when the plant schedule is delivered to your your landscaper, because the schedule will no longer reflect what's there on the ground.
Also, the sidewalk shows planting beds along there, and your new plan shows just sidewalk fully across all the way up to the base of the building, the whole strip. There's no planting beds anymore
I
in
would
the new
just take a look
proposed.
and make sure that everything is still
There's a sidewalk,
on that.
this is the same, the sidewalk here is,
Right, but your new sidewalk and your latest renderings don't even have any of this planting, it's all, those planting beds right there
They're all gone.
are all gone.
where, these?
Nope, all those there.
Right there, where are your pendants?
Those are all gone, yep.
To move to the other side of the fence is really,
Okay,
So
so,
an updated,
So we don't know that.
an
but that's what
updated
the renderings
landscape.
show.
all right,
I
all
mean,
right. Okay, I think we're good here, right? So we'll see you
I
guys
don't
again.
know, I
in,
mean, we followed your instructions last time, and here we are getting a whole new set of instructions.
No, I know, I think we
Because-
could go back and work the video, we gave a ton of feedback last time of things to look at, and I think we did a good job, like you guys moving the bollards in along Hollow Tree Ridge, along the fence was good, we didn't have any problem with
Yeah.
bollards in the back, changing the color, those are all positive, but the front section still needs addressing, and I think we'll see you guys back to address that.
So just exactly what do you want? You want to see a new landscape plan,
Take this
a
plan.
new site plan,
Take that.
no renderings. You're looking for elevations,
Don't need renderings anymore, elevations, site plan, landscape plan.
Landscape plan.
elevations.
New type of bollard proposed, exact dimensions,
Are you looking for a new type of bollard all around, or just?
No.
not inside the
Along
fence,
the
behind
driveway.
is fine, along Hollow Tree Ridge Road is fine. But along the brick, yes.
Just
And along the sidewalk going in, yes.
along here? Those?
Here, and then along the brick on the corner. And if there's a reason that, if the planning plan is.
Those? There's,
If,
They want to see it versus the planting plan.
if they're screened,
I just don't know how you're gonna screen a 4-foot high bollard with trees, with plants there. I think it's gonna become pretty heavy. So show us the planning plan, so we can flush that out. But I'd come with a backup plan, because I know you guys don't want to keep them seeing it, so I'd come with another option, like if the planning plan doesn't tell the full story, then what's the other option that we have there? So I would come up with that other option, then here are the bollards we would put over here on this side.
We'll do our best.
I mean,
That's all I can say. We've done our best so far, and now we're getting a whole.
We are a
different-
recommendation board. You can
I
take your
understand.
plan as is, and you can take it to P and Z, that's fine. We can give you an unfavorable report as is. I'm happy to do that. I don't mean to waste you guys' time. I recommend what our board's here for, right? We're looking at this from architectural perspective,
Right.
right? So we can't approve what this is presented. Just does not meet our town standard. Bob, you should know that. You've been here for years. You've seen what we approve.
I've been doing
This
this
is
a
not-
long time.
Right, and you know what we approve. This shouldn't come as a surprise to you.
I understand that.
I'm sorry we're still here.
But we usually don't have to keep coming back and back and back.
Right.
You know, we get
Trust us,
instructions,
we'd
we
love to pass
follow
this
them, we make the changes, and then there may be a few minor details, but it seems like we're starting from the beginning again on this.
I don't think you are, you're very, very close. We're talking about the drive-in bollards, and we're really trying to understand your planting plan. Those are the only two refinements, it's really not, we're not asking you to redo a whole bunch of things. I wasn't at that meeting in September. This is new to me. I can't put all the pieces of plans together where you've altered this one, you've taken a piece from that one, and you know, slice this one over here. One comprehensive plan that explains everything would be really beneficial for us to really understand. And, you know, for somebody like myself who wasn't at that meeting.
Okay. Anything else?
Guess that's it.
Thank you.
guys. All right, we're gonna move on. Hervé, administrative approval certificates. Do you have any to update us on?
Yes. This is not what I was looking for. We have a few pending. I issued one for Glow Up this morning, I think.
Yeah.
Because there was a very, I'm gonna call it, consistent with all the design guidelines at the Darien Commons. It's one of them, like, you know, wall mounted above the door and a blade sign, same
Darien
type of
Commons.
letterings, and nothing out of the ordinary. They were postponed from October because they didn't have dimension and stuff. If anything, you changed the blade sign from a rectangular thing to a round thing, and it actually looks better. So Liz and I looked at it, and we didn't think it was necessary to delay because they need to get into production, so that's one. The other two have not been issued yet. I'm waiting for them to submit material.
Cedric Loss is the one
Which is
that,
why we're put them pending, yeah.
Cedric Loss is the big one, like right the signage we saw last
Yeah.
week surrounding
Yeah.
Cedric Road, yeah.
Right.
So they're waiting for
Oh,
the
that's the
UPS.
fence sign.
Yeah, fence
And
signage, yeah.
then the one that didn't come, that we saw last time, didn't provide more information. There was one that we saw, I can't remember who they were, but in October, actually, I had that earlier, but there was, people have not been kind of
I don't remember
super
Magnolia Clothing.
proactive.
Okay,
So
that was in
that's-
Darien Commons as well? Magnolia Clothing?
Who's the guy who was missing stuff?
Oh.
Something mentioned.
Oh, clothing store.
Oh, yeah, no, it was a flower.
Okay.
Oh,
Magnolia.
Yeah, it did a
Okay.
nice job.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I know, brain.
So.
Thank you, Hervé.
Yeah. So now you have the calendar and the minutes.
Okay, the 2025 calendar, I don't want to just approve this real quickly because I want you guys to take a look at this. And the reason why, there's some tricky stuff on there. Like one of them is like February. February 4th, February 18th sometimes can fall on,
Winter break.
that's actually over, yeah, that's winter break.
President's Day the day before.
President's Day is the 17th, so if you guys are okay with that, I would move that meeting to the 11th of
To the week before.
February. Yeah.
I'm away.
Yeah, I won't be here either, but that's
So you guys are
okay.
away the week before
Yeah.
Yes,
February
because we
break.
don't have this.
But I am here on the 18th.
Okay,
Because we don't have
Because
kids.
we don't have kids.
Sorry.
okay.
Not in our house.
Are other people,
I'm fine with the 18th.
everyone's,
I'm mostly here.
oh, a lot of you guys are here the 18th? Okay,
Schools.
I will keep that date then, and I will probably not be here, and that will be probably the third meeting I've missed in 8 years, that would be great.
So the vice chairman takes over.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be scary.
Fantastic.
Let's hope these guys don't come back on that day.
And we will no longer have a vice chair. I will be
It's gonna be a
sending my
party.
letter of resignation.
It's gonna be.
Wine for
I sent my
everyone.
letter in March.
Okay, what about April? April break as well, the 22nd versus the 15th, because there are 5 Fridays in April, so that one has flexibility, 5 Tuesdays, I'm sorry.
When's
weird.
Easter?
When is Easter?
Easter's the 20th.
Easter's the
April?
of April. Yeah, it's the weekend before the 22nd.
14th to 18th is Darien.
Oh, wait, so we're moving after the first week.
So April, it would be like the third week in April if we moved it still. April 22nd is pretty late. And I
Can you
don't know.
go the week before?
Yeah, or yeah, do people take April breaks?
No.
Is that one, like,
I think I might be able to, but I'm not sure.
okay. Okay,
So
but
you want to put the 15th?
can I check, I just want to check when the public school calendar is, because that dictates,
It's that week, 14th to 18th.
it is. You've already looked?
I have it on my calendar.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So let's keep it the 22nd. That's good. The week before is school break. It's the
After Easter.
So we're keeping the 22nd, okay. And then let's go back up a year from now, November 18th and the 16th. It's kind of depressing to think we might be here a year from now, talking about it right now. Let's not
I
think
hope
about
we're
that.
still here.
We're still here and asking for a plan that's integrated.
No, it's not.
God, I just can't take it.
18th of November is fine.
18th November is good, okay.
Bollards.
Can't wait to design a really good
And
cover.
December.
Thanksgiving's the week after. so-
And December, yeah, okay, that's good. December 16th is the week before. Okay. Okay, so that's
this is
good.
pretty good so far.
So that's a good plan. All right, I'm gonna approve it.
So when's December's meeting?
That's
Christmas
This
this year.
This year or
Yeah,
next
this
year?
year, this
No,
year,
this
like
year.
next
16.
Yeah.
I don't know my meeting.
I think it's the 17th.
I am here.
It's the 17th.
Oh, so
It's a week before
the holiday.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is approved then. Everyone's, okay, I'll approve, I'm gonna sign this then. Thank you guys, this is all good. So I will get you a copy of this and you guys can put it in your calendar in advance, so you don't need to send me any last minute things like, I didn't realize the meeting was this week. Because the dog ate my homework,
I'm stuck in
didn't realize the
traffic.
meeting was week's excuse is
I'm
long.
stuck in traffic.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I've been around too long for that one. Okay. Approval of minutes, can I've read them, I think they're good. Can I get a second and a third for that?
Second.
Okay, third, beautiful. Okay, so minutes are approved. I'm not gonna hear any other business, because 8:32 PM, we need to go home.
Should we leave this on the screen?
I love
So-
that you got a book on
Let me-
security and site
let me
design.
close out
Dude,
our
I had
meeting.
to read
Did you
this
adjourn?
for one of my classes.
I haven't adjourned yet.
And it was
Good
like,
for you.
It's 8:32 PM, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. Thank you all. Channel 79, let us know when we're off air.